Hey everybody, welcome to Immortals Inc. podcast. I am Carlos, and as always I have young Mike on the mic.
Mike on the mic, yeah, it's a common alias.
And we brought in got a lot of Cthulhu experts around here. Actually more of a gaming guy.
Yeah, it's more of a
gaming guy. Tim.
Arkham Horror expert.
No, I don't think he's Arkham Horror expert.
Tim was actually on our past videos. You might not recognize him right now, but
yeah,
that is the
card
actual
game,
Tim.
Board game.
It's not a clone. It's the actual Tim.
I've dabbled in some Call of Cthulhu games.
Yeah, you have.
Yeah.
Just a few.
You're not a clone, right?
No.
Okay.
He might be.
No.
So today we're going to talk about a book that came out from Asmodee Fantasy Flight. Jeez, oh Pete.
You always want to fight something.
I know, I do. I so much want to. Welcome to Arkham.
Well, not to be confused with the other book that they had many, many moons ago called The Investigators of Arkham Horror.
I did talk about that, remember? That was one with the terrible killer babies.
Isn't that like every Arkham Horror?
No, that one has the baby.
Well, this one actually breaks down all the investigators you could, encounter in the board games, and that can be from Unfathomable, Arkham Horror, the card game, the board game, Eldritch Horror, you name it. It's a pretty book. I mean, looking in here, they got about like 2 or 3 pages for each investigator with a cool little story. Some of the characters in the card game are not in here, but again, this is like 3 years old. But
yeah, I did one on that. If you want to, you'll link it in the description, right?
This is another good book too.
So anyway, they just released this maybe a couple weeks ago.
Yes, a couple weeks ago.
Oh no, she fell.
There was quite a few delays on this book.
How come?
Probably production. I don't understand why. So I mean, but they had a couple of street dates for it, but it kept on getting delayed. But it's finally out now. You can go get yourself a copy here at Immortals.
Yes, you can. Sorry, I don't know why that bugged me.
That was a big plug.
That was crazy.
That was a big plug. Appreciate that.
So Welcome to Arkham is set up like it was like an illustrated guide for visitors of this historic town. It covers Arkham, Massachusetts,
yeah.
And which is not a real place, by the way. But
I thought it was. I was about to say, is that really?
No,
a real
but
place?
there are other locations.
There's
could be a reference in there that are real locations.
Yeah, it kind of puts it in the middle of whatever. Yeah, but they also cover Dunwich, Innsmouth, and Kingsport, which are big locations in a lot of his stories. So if you've read them, I like this. I picked it up. I'm like, what is this now? But it's not about the people it's actually the different locations. Like for some reason, I got a bug up my butt and I read Dunwich Horror again. Because I bought if you ever a chance to, if you like Lovecraft, go to the Lovecraft Historical Society.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a website, or it's an actual place, a store or a group.
You can actually join their club too, and they give you a ye old little travel card.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. And
very cool.
It's they do a lot of cool stuff, but it's good writers and anyway, the point is they keep the world alive.
They do, and on top of that too, considering Call of Cthulhu hit public domain, which means anybody can write it. I mean, you can pick this up and you can read about the locations and the places and stuff like that, and you can infuse it into your Call of Cthulhu RPG, which is not related because that's made by Chaosium Games, but you can still get what I call fluff pieces. So if you need some imagination or some tooling or working on specific locations, this is a great resource.
What I like though is I just reread, like I was saying, I just reread Dunwich Horror. And anyway, to go back to the Historical Society, I bought basically it's a book on tape, but it's got all their stories that read by actors. Well, like one guy reading it, but it's all good stuff. So I listen to it too because it's fun.
Yeah.
And they have all these different locations like the Devil's Hop Yard and the Watley Farm or whatever, and they're all detailed in here for like when you go to the Dunwich site. This isn't like a book you would read from cover to cover. I mean, you could, but it's like if you wanted to say,
I mean, but no.
But if say you wanted to run a game, or you're just reading a book and you're like, man, what is this Devil's Hop Yard? And then you can pull it up here and they pull up all the information they have.
Oh, absolutely.
But it's true to the original stuff. It doesn't add extras.
No,
it doesn't. Like if somebody else writes a book and they have an alternative story or whatever, due to the open license, it's not here. That's what the Historical Society is. They kind of keep it pure. I hate using that word, but it keeps it purish.
I mean, none of this hip, public domain is a free for all.
Yeah, but I mean, what the original, what like Lovecraft and all the other people he talked to, what they had in mind. You can add to it all you want. I mean, it's like I said, it's just a story. And I think most writers like that are like that to build their universe, unless it's something they take totally out of content or whatnot. So
it's a legit supplement for Arkham, like to give you everything you need that's in Arkham.
If you play the board games or the card games and you really don't get into the literature, but you just like the horror game and the way it's played, then yes, this is a good background to help you work into it.
Right. It's not telling you, it's like, oh, you got to go back and read about 30 plus stories H.P. Lovecraft had, because some of those are daunting.
Yeah.
Try reading Dreamlands. It's like,
I haven't even finished Hobbit yet. So.
Oh, that's worse than The Hobbit. There's a lot of walking in the Dreamlands too, and they're talking about locations and descriptions. It's pages upon pages.
So something that like a game
master. I would not recommend you reading Dreamlands for your first go.
It's not even a game master. It's just like if you play the board game or you play the card game and you like it, but you don't know anything about the source material. Because in the end, it's just a horror game.
Right.
It's a card game that's a horror game.
If you really need to know what's going on in Velma's Diner besides her awesome pie, you'll know by reading.
Oh, okay.
There's a background to you can.
There is.
This is kind of like an easy way to get into it without like going down these rabbit hole of like deep thought and
Yeah,
right. It's like, listen, okay, I just want to read, and it's got a lot of. And here's the other thing, I didn't know one of these writers was from Dayton. I think it's Dayton, Ohio.
Really?
A.P. Klosky is a Dayton-based author. I don't know if it's Ohio or not, which is like a hop, skip, and a jump. So why don't you tag him in that, and he'll tell us, or he'll just ignore us. One of the two.
Yeah, maybe.
Either way, he's a good writer. And then David Annandale. And then what I liked about it is he
wrote a couple novels.
Yeah, he did like
Arkham Horror.
40K and a bunch of other stuff. So it's, and then they actually have research assistants, which are guys that work for the Historical Society to make sure what they write is, consistent.
Oh, snap. That's
along with
cool.
the artwork.
As true and legit as they possibly can have it.
Yeah. And here I was worried about, because this is the new worry I have, or not I have, but a lot of people. There's a lot of cool artwork in here that sets the tone for this, the setting.
Tons of it.
Yeah, there's just the way the book is set up. It's like a scrapbook, and it's like almost like something you would get like a visitor's pass. But I was worried about, is this all computer generated art? Like,
AI.
I think they have to say that. They have to actually display that in the books.
Yeah, but no, there's like, this is, if you can see, this is all the artists. So there's a lot of artists in here. And you could tell. So I'm going to say they're all good stuff. And it is well put together. I haven't read the whole thing place to place, but since I just read Dunwich
You're
again.
just reading bits and pieces.
Yeah. So I went to the Dunwich area and I read more about it. I'm like, okay, this gives me the feel of the book.
This one you don't have to read.
No. But if I highly suggest, if you like the card game and you haven't entered the world of H.P. Lovecraft, like the novels and everything, this is a good starter to say, hey, why am I? Yeah, like they have Innsmouth in here, which I really want to get into because Innsmouth is, to me, is the most terrifying. It's not like the worldly, like the galaxy-eating terrors that they are. Innsmouth is like fish people coming to eat your face, or worse.
Deep ones again.
Yeah, the deep ones. Or worse, So
I got to plug that video now, too. It's up there.
The deep ones are great. This runs $50, $49.95.
Not gonna lie, a little pricey, but it's great copy
for a full color hardback.
Full color gloss paper. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, this is going right because I have that one, and I have a bunch of art books that I have in my house, a bookshelf or whatever.
I'm sure it's great for lore junkies.
Very much.
Yeah. And the artwork.
That's why I brought this book in too, because we're sitting there. So we're going to talk about this book. It's like, well, we need to bring this book too because. This one's just tailored to the investigators and with FFG and Asmodee, and that's for the most part their guys. I mean, granted, there's some cover. Let's put it this way: that there are some investigators that carry over into Call of Cthulhu, but for the most part, I mean, if you want to play, like, say for instance, you want to play Roland Banks in the card game, yeah, you're gonna play him in Arkham Horror. You're gonna play him in Eldritch Horror, and this is all about the investigators. So, but what Welcome to Arkham is all about that. It's all setting the location story.
So you could actually say, hey, I want to take, like you said, Roland Banks. That's the only one I can think of off the top of my head.
Oh, that's the first one I thought. They have
So,
like
you know,
over
you could,
50
I want to
of them.
take Roland Banks into Kingsport, you know, so it's like, all right, well, let me read about him. Let me read. And then, like, here, I just want to give an example of the art, too.
Nice art.
I mean, the landscape is nice, and it gives the impression of, you know, the feel of the book and the reading and the listening.
Oh, yeah.
So, and then I highly suggest it.
I give it 2 big thumbs up. It was delayed a couple times, but man, it came out. It was well worth the wait.
Yeah, so pick it up. We have both things here. We have both books here if you want to really get into it. And if you're into like I said, if you're into the Arkham games, but you're not into the Lovecraft universe or the Cthulhu universe, you haven't read the books or seen any movies or I just watched the old 70s Dunwich horror. I love it. Come on, man. The 70 movies are great.
Oh, what's his name? Dean Stockwell.
Yeah, Dean Stockwell.
Yeah.
Ready? What's this?
I don't know. What
Anybody seen the movie? No.
Oh yeah, with the awesome eyeball rings.
Yeah. I gotta have like a whole hand of those rings. It's just great. But not to go, but the guy who played Professor, the main doctor, Dr. Armitage.
Yeah.
He is actually a pretty good actor. as cheesy as it was.
And
Dean Stockwell's like he throws off insanity.
I think that was a TV movie. I don't think that was direct to theaters. I think
no, there's no way. That's his classic 70s.
It was like
70s TV movie, which you're gonna watch now. I'm gonna send it to you.
Oh gosh.
It's on Tubi. It's free.
Oh, if it's on Tubi, that's not a good sign.
That's a lot of good stuff.
Oh, there's some good stuff.
Yeah, I did watch They Live on Tubi.
Oh, They Live is a classic.
Yeah, classic.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Have you seen The Void?
No.
Oh my God, you got to see The Void.
Oh, The Void is awesome. That's like my go-to.
Don't.
Man. I mean,
I have a Little Trouble in Big China on my list.
Oh well, yeah.
Come on.
Okay,
Well, here, watch The Void, and when
Void.
when you're so terrified by the end, watch Big Trouble in Little China, and take the taste out of your mouth.
Okay.
I mean, that is like if you want to deal with Cthulhu mythos, but they didn't bring anything into it. I mean, it's got great old school effects. They didn't do any CGI stuff. The
Void, yeah.
Yeah, it's like all the monsters slithering around, stuff like that. Those are all old school effects. I love it.
You see,
I hate CGI.
They're making The Thing video game that's actually coming out in a few months.
Really?
So yeah, it's based at the classic 1980s flick. Literally at that space station, Antarctica. Is that where they are?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's. I just saw the
I gotta
trailer
see that,
yesterday.
yeah.
I think it's gonna be awesome.
There's so much stuff coming. There's so many good. I got to get away from Call of Duty. It's just so mind-numbingly bad.
So tell that to my kids.
Anyway, thanks a lot for listening. If you like this, share, like, subscribe. We also can join, and you can help finance Mikey's.
You could join. Finance you too.
Yeah, not so much me. I don't care anymore. What do
I care.
Who
Okay.
cares?
On YouTube, yes, you got to make sure you do it on a computer because I try to, subscribe and put some funds into Immortals, and I found out I can't do this on my phone. You got to do it.
Yeah,
with,
guys, that's the bad thing about it.
Yeah, you got to do it with laptop, desktop.
Desktop only. Yep. And either way, we appreciate the support. So see you guys next time.
Bye.
Later.